Hi, scary lovers. Please like and subscribe if you're into scary stories like me. The Wailing of the Hollow. In the quiet village of Carrigmore, nestled between dark, brooding hills, there lay a secret that the townsfolk whispered about but never dared to discuss openly. The air was thick with an unshakable sense of dread that had haunted the village for generations. Every night, when the moon hung low in the sky, a haunting wail echoed through the hills, the sound of a banshee. The villagers believed that the banshee was a harbinger of death, a spirit that warned of impending doom. Her mournful cry could be heard drifting through the trees, chilling the bones of anyone who dared to listen too closely. It was said that the banshee appeared to those who would soon face tragedy, her wail a lament for the souls soon to depart. Among the villagers was a young woman named Elen. She had grown up hearing the tales of the banshee, the wailing that stole sleep from the weary and sent children hiding under their covers. Despite the fear that gripped her village, Elen felt a strange curiosity about the spirit. She often wandered the hills, seeking solace in nature, and found herself drawn to the darkness that surrounded Carrigmore. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and shadows began to stretch across the land, Elen felt an inexplicable pull to the hills. The village lay behind her, a cluster of dim lights flickering like fireflies. She climbed higher, the wind whispering through the trees, and reached a clearing where the view of the valley below was breathtaking. But as she stood there, the air grew heavy, and a chill enveloped her. The wail echoed in the distance, a sound so sorrowful it made her heart ache. It was closer this time, more piercing. Elen's breath caught in her throat, but she felt an overwhelming urge to follow the sound. She ventured deeper into the woods, the moonlight guiding her way. Each step brought her closer to the source of the wail, the cries resonating through the trees like a lost soul's lament. Elen's heart raced, a mix of fear and fascination pushing her forward. Finally, she reached a small glen bathed in silver light. At the center stood an ancient oak tree, its gnarled branches twisting like fingers reaching for the sky. Beneath the tree knelt a figure draped in white, her long hair flowing like a river of shadows. The banshee. Elen's breath caught in her throat. The woman's features were ethereal, both beautiful and haunting, with eyes that glistened like wet stones. The banshee's wail filled the air, a sound that resonated deep within Elen's chest. It was a sound of sorrow, of loss, of longing. Gathering her courage, Elen stepped closer. "Why do you weep?" she called out, her voice trembling but firm. The banshee turned, her gaze piercing through the veil of night. "I wail for those who have forgotten," she replied, her voice like the rustle of leaves in a storm. "I mourn for the lives that slip away without a whisper, for the stories untold and the souls unremembered." Elen felt a pang of empathy. "But why you? Why do you carry this burden?" The banshee's eyes glistened with unshed tears. "I am the keeper of lost souls. My cries are their echoes, their pleas to be remembered. Those who hear my wail must face their own truths. It is a curse and a gift." Elen asked the banshee how she became the keeper for the lost souls. And a ghostly woman began to tell Het's story. In the lore of Carrigmore, the tale of how the banshee became a banshee is steeped in sorrow and tragedy. Long ago, she was a woman named Maeve, known for her beauty and kindness. Maeve lived in a small cottage on the edge of the village, beloved by all for her gentle spirit and healing touch. She would often wander the hills, collecting herbs and singing to the birds, her laughter echoing through the valleys. But Maeve's life took a dark turn when war swept through the land. A fierce battle broke out, and many young men from the village, including Maeve's beloved, were called to fight. They promised to return, but days turned into weeks, and the echoes of the battlefield reached Maeve's ears. One fateful night, she stood at the edge of a cliff overlooking the valley, her heart heavy with worry. As the moon cast its silver light upon the land, she heard the distant wails of mourning from the village below. In that moment, she knew her beloved would never return. The weight of loss shattered her heart, and she cried out to the heavens, her voice mingling with the winds. As her cries resonated through the hills, a powerful spirit, drawn by her sorrow, descended upon her. Moved by her grief, the spirit transformed Maeve into a banshee, binding her to the land and granting her the duty to mourn for the lost souls. Thus, she became a keeper of memories, cursed to wail for those who would soon depart. From that day on, Maeve roamed the hills as a banshee, her spirit entwined with the echoes of loss. The villagers, unaware of her tragic story, began to fear her wails, mistaking them for omens of death. Yet, in truth, Maeve was merely a reflection of the love she had once known, forever mourning the lives that slipped away into darkness. Elen's heart ached at the thought. She could feel the weight of countless stories hidden in the shadows of the hills, stories of love and loss, of hope and despair. "What can I do?" she asked, desperation creeping into her voice. "Listen," the banshee replied, her voice softening. "Each wail is a call to remember, to honor the lost. You must carry their stories into the world." Determined, Elen nodded. She knew she had to help. "I will remember them. I will tell their stories." As the night wore on, Elen sat beside the banshee, listening to the whispers of the wind and the tales of those who had come before. She learned of heartbreak, of dreams dashed against the rocks of reality, and of love that transcended time. With each story, the banshee's wail softened, transforming from a sound of despair into a song of remembrance. But as dawn approached, the banshee's form began to fade. "Time is fleeting," she said, her voice echoing like a distant memory. "You must return to your village and share what you have learned. It is the only way to break the cycle of silence." Elen felt a rush of sorrow as she realized she would soon be alone again. "Will I see you again?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The banshee smiled, a sad, knowing smile. "Whenever you listen, I will be there. My spirit will live on in the stories you share." With that, the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, bathing the glen in golden hues. The banshee shimmered and disappeared, leaving Elen alone with the echoes of the night. Returning to Carrigmore, Elen felt a new sense of purpose. She shared the stories of the lost souls with her fellow villagers, telling tales of love and loss that resonated deep within their hearts. The wailing of the banshee transformed from a source of fear into a reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of remembrance. As time passed, the villagers learned to listen, to honor those who had come before them. The sound of the banshee's wail became less haunting, a soft murmur in the wind, a reminder that life is fleeting, and every soul deserves to be remembered. And though the banshee no longer appeared in the glen, Elen knew she was never truly alone. The stories she shared were the banshee's legacy, a bridge between the living and the lost, ensuring that no soul would ever be forgotten. In the end, the wailing of the hollow became a song of remembrance, a testament to the enduring power of stories and the bonds that connect us all, both in life and in death. Her tale became a reminder that the bonds of love and loss are timeless, and that every cry carries the weight of stories left untold. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please let me know down below what kind of stories you would like to hear more from. Like and subscribe if you're into scary stories like me. Stay safe and I'll see you tomorrow.